It's no secret that starting a business is hard. Even if you have an amazing idea, bringing it to life can feel overwhelming. With HubSpot's new entrepreneurship kit, though, you can go from idea to IPO with the help of a company that knows a thing or two about growing better. The all-inclusive kit gives you step-by-step guidance and frameworks to help you crush every stage of starting a business, with tools tailored to help all along the entrepreneurial journey. It's packed with templates for project management, email, and skill development. Wow, that's a lot of templates. There's also a solopreneur guide. It's got freelance pricing worksheets and lots more you can get up and running immediately. And best of all, it's free. With expert guidance and frameworks from HubSpot, starting a business doesn't have to be so hard. So don't wait to start yours. Go to HubSpot.com/ENT to download the guide right now. Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. It's August 30th. I'm John Weigell with Juliet, Bennett, and this is the Hustle Daily Show. Very demure this, very mindful that. You've likely heard these words recently, all thanks to a TikTok trending audio from beauty content creator Jules LeBron, who uttered the now famous words on her TikTok profile. But now, demure is ripe for the picking, and many entities are trying to trademark the term for their products and services. So, should they have a right to? And how can content creators get to own their own memes? We'll chat about that in a bit, but first, let's give you the hits and headlines today in business and tech. To kick us off, GameStop's latest gambit is turning back the clock. The meme stock/retailer will focus some locations on retro gaming, selling classic games on 18 bygone consoles. Some of these include PlayStation 1, N64, Sega Dreamcast, Game Boy Advance, Game Boy Color, SNES. The list goes way on. A lot of systems, but not the PSP, strangely enough. Okay, next, 99.9% of United Airlines flight attendants voted to authorize a strike. If you're flying United soon, though, don't panic. Negotiations are still ongoing, and even if talks break off, there's a 30-day moratorium on walking off the job. Next is the Abercrombie & Fitch bubble about to finally burst. The reanimated apparel company again saw its quarterly revenue grow up 21%, but its stock is actually down because its CEO referenced a, quote, increasingly uncertain environment. Don't know what he means by that. The company seems to be doing quite well. Over to tech, Google is giving its AI image generation tool another shot after a lot of backlash in February for its historically and racially inaccurate results. The tool will first roll out to English language paid Gemini advanced users and businesses. And finally, on the subject of Google, Yelp is actually suing Google over an alleged monopoly. The antitrust lawsuit says Google manipulates search results to promote its own local offerings like restaurant reviews or hours of operation. Honestly, every Google search that I do gives me a Google result. Haven't seen a Yelp result in a good while, so good luck, Yelp.
Yes, agreed.
Right. On to the main story today. Very demure, very mindful, has been on the tip of everyone's tongue these past few weeks. And like any online fad, businesses are trying to get in on it, some even for the long run here. So, Juliet, first, can we clear up the origins of this viral phrase a little bit?
Yes, the origin comes from Jules LeBron. She is a TikToker based in Chicago who posts beauty tutorials. She had a video about how she does her makeup for work. She probably doesn't work there for long, given her viral, but she works as a cashier at a store. And she was talking about how when she did her makeup for work, she did it very demure, very mindful, that she kind of had this modest presentation when she went to the job, just the way she was in the job interview. She said, I think in particular, she does not do a green cut crease, which for those of you who do not do your eye makeup would be a very bold, bright green look. So she posted this and it took off. It went viral. She racked up 2.1 million followers on TikTok. As with all people who achieve viral fame, all of a sudden she was on TV. She was on CBS Mornings. She was on Jimmy Kimmel Live. She got some brand deals with Verizon and Netflix. I was just happy to see that we were done with Hawk Tuah girl and we had someone new.
I was going to say, we finally were able to move on from that phase of me seeing Hawk Tuah belt buckles at the local convenience store. So I'm glad we're on our next thing, which is exciting for me too.
Yes, I will bring back up Hawk Tuah in a little bit. I'm sorry, but
such is the day, such is the subject. But so you have this viral phrase, and I feel like this has been a problem for creators till the beginning of YouTube, till the beginning of time, has been, hey, I made this cool thing, or hey, I made this viral phrase or sound. what do I get out of it? Obviously, we see the brand deals here from Verizon and Netflix, but a lot of people have moved into now trademark this term, apparently, right?
Yeah, and not a huge number, but the last time that I looked at it, there were actually 3. So when I was reading news reports about it, most of the news reports centered around this guy named Jefferson Bates of Washington State, who had filed a trademark for very demure, very mindful. And then I saw on NPR that another person had filed a trademark for very demure, very cutesy. That was Cassandra Popp, who appears to be the same Popp who founded the app Hive Social, according to the email address listed on the patent application. And then just the last time I looked at it, there was a third applicant who wanted the phrase always demure and very mindful. That applicant was from Ohio. You will notice that none of these people are Jules LeBron.
Right.
So they seem to be trying to use her phrase to market something of their own. That's kind of the weird thing going on here.
Yeah, it is very weird, but also surprising that Jules LeBron did not move to trademark this herself sooner,
Right.
or as soon as it was kind of getting off the ground. And obviously, these all companies with specific interests, it seems, or like specific marketing needs. But it is just an application, right? Nobody has been approved yet, I'm sure.
Right. And that's the thing. I think someone like Jules, who overnight becomes this sensation, they don't think, hey, I should trademark this thing that I said. Yeah. It's just the thing that they said. It's the way that they talk. And I told you I was going to bring up the hawk to a girl again. Apparently, there were 30-some applicants for that as well, the thing that she said, which is not even a phrase. It's like a onomatopoeia or whatever.
Onomatopoeia.
I don't know what people were going to do with it.
It's my favorite spelling civilization, onomatopoeia.
Right. But basically, when you think about what a trademark is a word, a phrase, a symbol, whatever that identifies a company's products. So some famous ones are, of course, the Nike swoosh or its slogan, just do it.
Sure.
McDonald's, I'm loving it, the golden arches. But when you apply for such a trademark, that is just that. That is an application. So it's not like Jefferson Bates of Washington State, whoever he is, gets to have very demure and market products using that now. He is merely applied to do something like that. And this has to be reviewed. And like everything else with the U.S. government, there is a backlog. And then there will be an opposition period during which Jules LeBron could step forward and be like, hey, that's mine. And I have an opposition to this. Mm-hmm. There was a professor, Debreson Gerharst, was telling NPR that if she can show consumers, view her as the source, and that whoever else came to the scene later, which we know they did, their patent applications are dated, she could have superior trademark rights, which I think it's pretty obvious that she does.
Yeah.
Initially, LeBron was a little frazzled. She posted to TikTok. She was worried about it, but she later posted to TikTok that it had been handled and she would leave it at that. I think she said, Mama has a team now. I'm going to assume that as lawyers and people who can advise her on her sudden viral fame. Another thing that The Verge pointed out, which was interesting, is that Bates actually applied for all industries, and that's not how it works.
Yeah.
You have to define the industry in which you would use the trademark. So, for example, if you think of a phone or a computer, sure, Apple. But if you think of the fruit, Apple doesn't get to tell farmers, hey, you got to call it something else. That's just not how it works.
Yeah. Something else that in this situation that always alarms me is how quickly these new viral famous people within a week gain an agent, gain a team.
Right.
It happens so fast. There has to be an agency out there that just looks for these and this immediately reaches out to them once they've reached a viral fame. And they probably have to shop around for them too. But this all happens so quickly. It even happened with the Hawk Tuah girl. She's still very much represented as well.
Right. And, I think it's interesting. And I'm not going to say that the people who actually help these viral celebrities are vultures, but I think we're seeing it with the trademarks. This Jefferson Bates, I looked at his other trademark applications because somebody suggested that he was what they call a trademark troll, which is somebody who kind of goes around trying to get trademarks or bully. Uh-huh. We've talked about Monster Energy. They try to basically bully anyone or anything that uses the word monster, no matter the context. I think they even go after Pokemon, which means pocket monster in Japan, just like, what are you doing here? But another one of Bates's applications, which is pending, was for Broncos Country Let's Ride, which is apparently something quarterback Russell Wilson would say when he played for the Denver Broncos. So it's just like, what are you doing, man?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but you'll also see this with domain squatters. We were just talking about the guy who sold harriswaltz.com.
Yep.
And I checked, and yes, verydemure.com is already taken. And I don't know if it's by Jules LeBron or somebody else who is hoping that she or her team will eventually pay for that domain. But I will say, everyone seems to really like Jules LeBron. And I think they're seeing these people, especially Bates, who was the first one that it was reported on. They're kind of seeing him as a villain. And when you file a patent application, you have to put your information on that, and that information is public. So you can go and find out where this guy lives. You can have his email address, you can have his phone number. And on Google Maps, as The Verge pointed out, people are ranking his house 1 out of 5 stars, saying that he is not very demure and saying he should be ashamed of himself. So, if you're going to be a trademark troll, I guess if you're Monster Energy and you've got lawyers for days, sure, whatever. But, there may be some ramifications when you're picking on the internet's new sweetheart.
It seems like it. I was going to say this reeks totally of the domain squatter story that we did, especially on the harriswalls.com entry, or the people that just buy up bulk domains hoping they hit the jackpot. And this guy fits right in that category. I do, however, love, even harkening back to our Google and Yelp lawsuit story, that these Google ratings coming up quickly for his location. And I really enjoy a worthwhile dox over here. Like when Drake got doxed and everybody was reviewing his house, like, oh, Kanye's pool is a little bigger than this. And I really appreciate a good troll to the troll. So that's really fun to see.
Yeah, I think perhaps what we've really learned is that the internet is a force. It can make you famous, but are you the hero or the villain of the day? Yeah. Only you can decide, or the internet will decide perhaps for you.
Exactly. All right, and that's going to do it for us today. Thanks for tuning into the Hustle Daily Show. We're a proud part of the HubSpot Podcast Network. Our editor today is Robert Hartwig, and our executive producer is Darren Clark. We got a ton more tech and business coverage in our newsletter. If you're not subscribed to it, go get signed up at thehustle.co/email and give us a follow on our Instagram. Thanks a bunch, everybody, and we'll see you later. Hey, everybody. I've been listening to this awesome podcast lately called Entrepreneurs on Fire. It's hosted by John Lee Dumas, and it's available right now on the HubSpot Podcast Network. Entrepreneurs on Fire stokes inspiration and shares strategies to fire up your entrepreneurial journey and create the life that you've always dreamed of. It offers lots of energy, value, consistency, and it's for anybody who wants to learn more about entrepreneurship. It's super fast-paced and packed with valuable stories about entrepreneurs, their aha moments, their failures, and everything to what's working for them today. Recently, he had on this guest, Ashley Stahl, who talked all about her job at the Pentagon and how she evolved into becoming a top 100 TEDx speaker. She talks about evolving your brand from the ground up, leaning into the skills that you already have to build your brand, and also creating virality. It's a great listen. You should check it out. And you can listen to Entrepreneurs on Fire wherever you get your podcasts.